Got
I
it.
record it? Can I record it?
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? Keep yourself for a second.
Yes.
I got some, yes.
Are we ready yet?
Okay, yes, Debbie.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you all for inviting me up Quebec, Canada. I am from the Northwest, so Midwest. Now I'm in the Northwest now, but I'm born in the Midwest, in Chicago.
Bye, Claire.
Bye, Claire.
Well, if you think it's going to be some noise in your background, you can muffle. You can mute yourself because I hear noise.
I can mute it now.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm sorry about that. And I'm just blessed to be able to talk to you today because I'm going to tell you about the number one thing I use in problem solving is that my sense of humor, my attitude. It's just the only thing that we really got control over because this body, it will change on you. If you're not used to changing, change happens every day. There's always change. And so the seasons change and we change. If you have family, if you have kids, they change. Everybody changes. So now we're in a new change that we thought would never change, but it is changing. So we have to learn to, if you don't learn to bend with it, you break. So I've been bending like a pretzel because I'm not breaking. So I'm all kind of bent up because I'm adjusting my new life. And I'm telling my post-polio, look, you just better get on board because I'm still going to do what I do. I just got to get creative on how I'm doing it. I'm not going to shut down my life for post-polio syndrome, but I'm just getting smart on how I do things. So right now I'm traveling to another state, Washington State, up to Bremerton to do a comedy show tonight. I'm still doing my comedy, even though I'm not walking. I've adjusted myself. I have special shoes. I have braces that I have to wear, and I have a scooter. And I also always demand handicap rooms when I go to hotels, and I have to and I always check out the handicap stuff before all the adjustments, the ramps where I can get in at. And sometimes we have to do that before. We have to be proactive to make sure wherever we going, we know that it's not going to, be no surprises. So I suggest everybody before you go on the trip, just check out your journey beforehand, so you won't have no anxiety and have to be worrying. Oh, I wonder if I get there, if I can do this. If they're going to have handrails in the bathroom, all those things that we didn't used to think about, but those are things that we got to put in the front of our mind. And when you take care of that stuff, making sure that you're going to be safe and you can get around before you go, it makes all your trips much more enjoyable than to get in there being surprised. And yes, I came in the world, I'm from Chicago, like I said, the Windy City, and I love the wind from Chicago because it blew all the skinny women away, so I got to date a lot. But I was born a perfect baby, so I thought, but I had spinal bifida, and at 5 months old, I contracted polio. And being in the ghettos of Chicago, in a very African-American community, we were the last communities to get the serum. And so you had to be 6 months old to get the serum. I was 5 months old. And at that time, I had surgeries when I was 3 and 4 years old. And then I they told my mother and father that I would not be able to birth any children because the spinal bifida and the polio had affected my spine and my right side and my waist, my paralyzed from the waist down, and I wouldn't be able to birth my own children. And they were devastated by the information, but they kept it a family secret from me until after my third baby. Like, what? I can't have no kids. That's when I first learned you can do a lot when you don't know you can't do it. That word can't kills people and dreams. So that's the number one curse word we have to get out of our mouths. That word kills. It kills. The other cuss words, they don't do nothing to you but might hurt your feelings. But they cannot cripple you and stop you from living a full life like the word can't. So I want you to take that curse and make it a curse word, worse than all the other curse words put together. And it can't. If you don't get rid of that can't, you can pass it on to the next generation. So it's a very highly contagious, dangerous word that kills people and dreams. And I was introduced to that word very early in my life. I was 5 years old, and time for me to go to school, and found out I couldn't go to school in the neighborhood. And we was trying to integrate. I couldn't even go to the white schools, black schools, not no schools because we had polio. They didn't let polio kids go to school in a normal school setting. They said that we were not normal, and they were. So they built 4 polio schools in Chicago. That was how many polio children they had. And so I had to go to the polio school. I never went to a public school, a regular school with normal kids, all the way through high school. And so I said, when I get out of this special school where I'm considered not normal, I'm gonna only hang around the normal people. I'm gonna get away from all these people like me that have polio, and I'm gonna be with the normal people. And so I grew up, and I've yet to find a normal person. I don't know where they're at. I haven't found one yet. But anyway, I was isolated from the community. People were scared that they're gonna catch polio like they do HIV, like don't have the right information. And so as I was isolated, even though I had polio since I was 5 months old, I didn't find out I was Black until I was 7. And that was the biggest shock to the polio. I'll let you know that right now. I came home from school one night with sitting home watching television with my mother, and they flashed on the national news about a civil rights march that happened down south here in the States. And they were showing all the Black people getting hosed up against the wall, and the dogs were biting them, and the police was hitting them with the batons. And I was shocked. But I looked at my mother, and she was more shocked than me, and she was really upset. And then I noticed for the first time, she was Black like the people on the TV. I never noticed my mother had a skin color before. So I went over and put my arms around her, and I said, I feel so sorry for you people. Boy, I'm glad I'm not Black. And my mama said, baby, I'm your mama. If I'm Black, you Black too. I said, no, I'm not. I'm polio. And Roosevelt is the leader of our people. That was our president. That used to be our president of the United States. And he had polio. So I figured, hey, I could be a president of the United States. And my mother started to beat me up with that word can't. Honey, you can't be the president. We can't even vote in a lot of states. We can't go to certain schools. We can't go to certain colleges. We can't live in certain neighborhoods. Now I already found out I can't walk like the other kids. I can't participate with the other children in the neighborhood. And now I got a whole new world of can'ts. So I've been beating can'ts off since I was a little girl. So I'm looking for cans. And in our polio school, and I remember, I know up there in Quebec, and all over the world with there's children, there's always those mothers that came to school all the time. They were in the PTA, and you see them all the time. Well, at our polio school, we had a mom just like that too. And she had polio, just like her little girl, who was my best friend. But Miss Butler, but she was nothing like my mother. My mother was very thin, and she struggled with alcoholism her whole life. She didn't drive a car, but Miss Butler, and she always was at the school. My mother didn't come to the school very often, but Miss Butler was always at the school, and she had her little limp and her little brace on, and her daughter had her brace on. They looked like twins. And Miss Butler was a big heavyset woman, and she drove a car, and she had pretty flower dresses on. Her hair was always pretty, and she always smelled like Avon and fried chicken. She was so nice. And so she would be in the audience, and I said to myself, when I grow up, I want to be a mom just like Miss Butler. And I prayed to God that night. I said, dear God, I want to be a big fat mother that can drive a car. And guess what? Yes, I grew up to have 5 children, and I learned how to drive a car. And I love Avon. So, but what that small prayer meant to me is because we've got to look at people as examples, look at positive people, even other people who have post-polio like us and who's suffering with the late effects. Look at the ones that are still living their lives. They're still doing it, just doing it different and being more creative. And so what Miss Butler taught me was that I could be sober, that I could take care of myself, and I could love me in spite of being poor, fat, handicapped, that I could love myself. And that's why I learned how to love me and value my life and know that I can still do things normal. Miss Butler drove a car. Yes, she had a left foot gas, but she still drove a car. She made adjustments. And that's what we have to do. We just have to make adjustments. But she showed me a way to go. So I'm looking for cans. Where can I find a can? And I found a great can in 1967 or 66. I got to meet Dr. Martin Luther King. I was 10 years old. We were at the park, and it must have been a holiday because my daddy was there and my mama, you know, they barbecued. And that's the only day they didn't fight on holidays. And so my daddy saw Dr. King standing over by a little makeshift stage. Dr. King had on a white short sleeve shirt, and there was some other men around him. And my daddy said, there go Dr. King. He said, Debbie, let's go over there and meet him. Now, I love my daddy. My daddy, oh, he was a good looking man. He had nice wavy red hair and nice mustache and a goatee. And he always said, baby, you know, you look just like my sister. Oh, you look like my sister. You look like your auntie. And I was happy with that until I saw my auntie. And that mustache and goatee didn't look as good on her as it did on him. I look like every time I feel my hair growing, I'm turning to my auntie. But anyway, he grabbed me by the arm and he just started running and dragging me in my braces right through the crowd. And we got all the way up to Dr. Martin Luther King. And my father broke in and grabbed his hand and said, Dr. King, my name is J.W. Bingham, and this is my little girl, Debbie. And then Dr. Martin Luther King stopped everything he was doing. And for a few brief minutes, he looked at me and he grabbed my hand and he said, how you doing, baby? I said, I'm fine, Dr. King. I just started washing my hand again last year. But he made a speech and he said, I want my kids to be known by the content of their color, their character, and not the color of their skin. I even added on to it, or their physical ability, that I don't be judged on how I look in braces, a wheelchair, how I walk. Don't judge me there, judge me for my inner character, because that's what I have. And so that's what I have to offer. That's what motivates this outside body, is my attitude. That's what I control. So you know, we can't get too caught up because even to the perfect people, their bodies changing. So everybody's changing, just at different speeds. But I took that can and I said, I'm not going to say can't no more. I'm going to say can. I got to do it a different way.
Huh?
What?
It's
What?
Saturday. Go ahead, Debbie. Go ahead.
Maybe you have to type it in so I can read it. I can't understand your words. You want to send me a message. So I'm looking for cans. And so all through my life, I've been doing cans as a person who had 5 kids early in life. I had my kids very young. I got married at 18 and had 5 kids by the time I was 25 years old. And all my kids walked really fast. And I was like, they were like 7 months old walking. And I said, what kind of kids I got? They got athletes. It wasn't until my 4th child I realized why they were walking so fast. As I was trying to carry my baby into the store, grocery store, to get in a shopping cart, I fell. And baby bumped her head, I bumped my head. And so I was devastated. So the next week she was on the couch and I went to reach for her and she said, no, Mom, I'm gonna walk over there because you're gonna kill me. Let me help you over there. So now I know why my kids were always hovering around the baby crib. They would say, get up and walk. Mama gonna try to carry you. Don't crawl, walk so you can run. So I didn't see that as poor me. Even coming upstairs, I had groceries, arm baby, diaper bag, 4 little toddlers, baby. I laid the baby on the step, pull the groceries up the steps, one step, hold on to the guardrail and take a step. Roll the baby a couple more steps up, pull the bags up, hold the rail, take another step. And it would take me 10 minutes to get up the stairs. But you know what? When I got up the stairs, I didn't say, poor me, look what I had to do. I said, look at me, I did it. I did it. And that's what we have to do. Value the things that we can do. Take pride in it and don't compare it to anybody else or how you used to do it. I was so proud that I got up the stairs with my 5 babies, my groceries, all in one piece. And so I've taken the lighter side of it. Instead of being a victim, I'm a victor. And I encourage you to be victors. I think I got like 5 more minutes. And so I'm just gonna I had, like I said, I had my kids really young. I had my kids so young that when I go to the old folks home, they'll be down the hall. I can all see us all sit in the nurse in the day room in our rocking chairs. Yes, we're all back together, huh, kids? Yeah. Well, I thought you'd be in here with me because I had y'all pretty young. Yeah, if you need a diaper change, don't ask me. I can't wait. Yeah. And my oldest daughter, she'll be 50 years old. Yes. Now some of you kids, yep, my polio pals, you probably got kids older than that. But for me, this is my first child in the 50s. And it seemed like it was just yesterday. We was talking about Santa Claus. Now we talk about menopause. I just can't believe it. Time just flies. So over the years, though, I've learned to take adversity and change it to being creative in my walk. And I encourage you to look at the lighter side, look at humor. Even I would fall. I would grab the couch, I would grab the chair, everything. But I would when I get over there, I say, well, at least I'm still alive, and just count those blessings. You might be able to fall, get the life alert, just get all your equipment that you need, because it's out here for us now. Baby boomers, yes, all of us are losing a little boom boom, but every generation goes through this. So we just going through a little bit more complicated, but thank God for society is changing, so we can still do things productive. And so I've been married 41 years. Yeah. That's 4 husbands. Yeah, 4 husbands. I count them like college credits. They're cumulative. Yeah. So, but the reason why is because my confidence. I had 3 husbands pass in a row. So I'm a widow right now. I'm a Black widow. I mean, I have to kill and eat the men on a date. But now that, I didn't had so many sickly husbands now that when I go on a date, I don't hold his hand, I hold his pulse. So I'm going to keep on living my life and doing my stand-up comedy, sitting down as I've opened for all the greats, Jamie Foxx, Sinbad, Louis Anderson, all the greats here in America, in the States. And I've traveled to Taipei, Taiwan in my power chair to do a speech for 6,000 Taiwanese. So you can still travel. I'm going on 2 cruises, the polio cruise in February, I'm going on another cruise next month. So you can still do everything that you want to do, but it's your attitude. That's what you are. This body, and ladies, I'll tell you, enjoy the inside person, and men enjoy the inside. Get to know the inner person. That's who you are. So ladies, date ugly men, put a brown bag on his head, draw a picture pretty man on it. But whatever you need to do, you love you first. Fall in love with you. And whatever position you in, there's always someone that is better and would give their eye tooth to be as good and as much power over their body that you have. And maybe you think you don't have enough, but stop comparing yesterday. and learn to live for the day, and don't hold bitterness, don't hold being a victim. Celebrate what you have left. And as you can know, you can almost buy anything else and to supplement what you don't have. I do it all the time, called Miss Maybelline. So that's all I got to say. And I thank you for having me come all the way. I feel like I'm in Quebec because it's cold here. Is it cold there? Anyway, I'm just on my way to my next gig tonight with my scooter, with everything I need, handrails and everything. I'm on my way and still living my life. And I encourage you to do it too. For everybody's coming on the cruise in February, I'll see you in February. All right. Thank you so very much.
Oh, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much, Debbie. That was so heartfelt and so right on. I mean, we've had enough of we can't. We got to do it. That's all.
That's it. And I want to say one more thing. I do have 5 kids and 17 grandkids. And I have a son that has a law firm in Seattle. I have a daughter who teaches at college and at Evergreen State College in Olympia. And I have a son that's assistant vice president of Bank Americas. I have a daughter who is an LPN and a son that's a supervisor for Seattle Transit System in King County. So I have 2 grandkids in medical school. One's going to be a veterinarian, and I'm more happy about her because now when I get old and sick, she can put me down. So I'm really happy in my family. So it's still a success. You would know them by their fruit. Make sure your fruit is sweet. Okay, that's it.
Oh, that was just great. And I really relate to you thinking your children could run so fast. My children we would walk down the street and my children would run all the way to the next corner and then come back to me. And then they'd run all the way forward and I'd finally meet up with them. And then we'd cross the street together and then they could run so fast. Thank you for that memory.
Yes, keep those in the front of your mind. Keep those in the front. I got so many pictures of my kids' legs. You know why? Because they worked. They're perfect.
I'll have to send you the picture of toes. We took pictures of toes when my children were young. I'll send it to you.
Oh, that'd be so cute. I would love that. I would love that. I remember my kids going up the steps. They used to go up the steps like me, and I had to get normal people to walk up the steps to show they can use both legs. But they would walk up and hold one leg, then back.
Well, I'm gonna put everybody back on questions, and we'll talk about the questions that they have for you, and I'll keep the recording on, and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, thank you so much. And we need a comedian like you right here in Montreal, Quebec. And we'll even translate whatever you want us to translate. So we'll be looking forward to you. Thank you so much, Debbie. And on behalf of everyone, thank you.
Well, if they want to ask me some questions right now.
I'm sure if you have another few minutes.
Yeah, I have another 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, you can take yourself off mute, everyone. Who would like to ask first? I'll put this on gallery. Who has a question? We're also flabbergasted.
How about comments? Take your mute off, Sandra. Sandra, take your mute off.
Sandra R.
Okay.
Yeah, I had hit it, but I guess I didn't hit it hard enough. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, Debbie, you may have mentioned it and maybe I just forgotten it. I'm going to call that to old age. How long have you been doing stand-up?
32 years.
Wow, that's
32
amazing.
years.
Yeah,
Jamie
then
Foxx
from that-
came to my house to get me. If I had 5 little bitty kids, and I went for a little while, but I couldn't stay.
Wow,
I raised my babies.
that's amazing.
Yes. And on stage, because since we're all grown-ups, I have a clean shows, Christian shows. I could do Mormon shows, and then I have adult shows. Mormon shows. I'm a woman with polio, but in my nightclub act, I'm a poly hoe.
Oh,
See, every
wow.
man wants a church mouse on Saturday. He wants a church mouse on Sunday morning, but he wants a poly hoe on Saturday night.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh. Well, I've enjoyed you. Thank you for sharing your talent with us.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. And so many of us never thought we could have children, and so many of us do have them. So isn't that
Yes.
wonderful? Yes.
Yes, yeah.
All my life, all I ever wanted to do was drive a car, and even more than have a child. So there you go.
Yeah.
Marietta, you have
Doing all that, you know. I even painted a house, you know. I done all kinds of stuff. I'm not even mad for post polio syndrome, because I know I wore my butt out. I know I did. I overworked. I know I did. I deserve this break.
I deserve these. Yes. Marietta.
Oh, hi there, Debbie. Yeah, it was really cool to hear from you. And it's really nice to get comedy from somebody who is disabled, and it's authentic. Okay, you're not pretending to be somebody that you're not. And I feel as though a lot of comedians these days, they try to embellish something that they are not. And
Yes,
so
you're right.
you understand what I'm getting
Yes.
at? Because your comedy, your disability is part of the, I guess, your act, and
Yeah,
you're
it
not
is.
really emphasizing that. You're just kind of bringing some of those details out, and I could relate to a little bit, you know, to that kind of thing. So yeah, it was really really refreshing. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Well, you know, I try to educate my comedian or my audience, especially if they're young. They don't know a lot about polio. I said a lot of young people don't know a lot about polio. I said polio is a brain virus. It affects the signals in your brain, slows them down, to destroy the signals in your brain that makes your arms move, your legs move, your lungs breathe, your ability to pick the right man. You know, things like that. You know, so and then a lot of women say, "Oh, I had polio." They be thinking, "What had polio?" That was polio. Yep, that was polio. So I'm educating too.
Sanjeev has a question.
David,
Sanjeev,
hi.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. I love it. I have one question. Do you make reels on social media, like on Instagram
Oh yeah.
or
Use all that.
you?
Yes.
So, could you like tell us your ID so we start following you
Yes. Just
and make your videos viral?
yeah. You can go on YouTube and also see some of my comedy acts, my nightclub acts, and then I also done 4 movies. I auditioned for a movie that was just asking for a middle-aged Black woman, and I showed up in braces and a scooter, and I landed the female leading role. So they had to write my polio through the whole movie. It's called The Pony Man. It's on Prime Video.
What's the name?
Pony Man. And so they wanted my personality, because that's what sold them. They were looking for a middle-aged Black woman. I show up in scooter, braces, and I land the part. Because
It's on the
they
Prime.
want to show you that it's not the outside. All the walking women didn't get the part, but old scooter girl got the part. So,
Nice.
it just showed me attitude. That's what people see first. But, you know, make them see your attitude, your personality, not this.
That's great. I will see that.
And so Deborah Wooten Williams is my Facebook name.
Okay.
And then Deborah, DEBORAH, Wooten, WOOTEN, Williams, WILLIAMS. And then also on Instagram and LinkedIn, and you can type in Debbie Wooten.
Could you email these to the Mona or the Moin so that they will put it into the
I'll
newsletter and we will.
Right, I'll send all the information to Mona, and she could get it.
send
out
it to me,
everybody.
and also I'll spread it around. And,
yes,
and Debbie,
I'm also do rap music, because I had 5 teenagers, so I did rap music. So I have 2 singles out too. Call all of them
Wow.
some peace and quiet. Keep your bike helmets on. So
That's
And you even found out you were a black lady. I mean, what more could a polio person want to be?
I'm polio.
I'm polio. I think that should be our byline. I'm going to put that in.
We are a tribe. We are the lost tribe, the polio tribe.
Wow. This is
Polio
just
come in every color.
Yeah.
That's why I love
one
the
last
polio.
question. Someone have a last question?
Debbie, could you spell the second?
Yes.
I got the Deborah and I got the Williams, but not the Wooten. Can you spell that?
W-
again?
Send all the
O-O-T.
information to Mona, but it's WOOTEN. And I'm gonna
Thanks
send
a
all
lot.
the links to her
Great.
and also the where you can see my movie at. And I have
Yeah.
it on Apple Plus too.
Thanks a
Ruth,
lot.
I just
one
wanted-
last question.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say how much I really enjoyed it. That's great. It's wonderful to hear her and hear her about attitude and making everybody laugh. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I was seeing we gotta get back on the road now. We still got 3 hours to drive.
Oh, wow.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And I hope to see you can still get Chuck, Sanjay. We need some good looking men on the boat. So try to get on that cruise. Because the picture I saw, I thought it was Halloween because I was scared. So come on and get on the boat. We need some Sanjays and Chucks. Sandra, look onto the cruise. They still got some openings. So I'll be there. 10 days. Only
Great day.
$1,000. Okay.
Be safe,
Wonderful.
be safe driving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drive safe.
Yes.
I'm gonna be safe riding.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. God bless you all. Anytime you need another cheerleader, just call me.
Okay.
Okay, Mona,
Okay.
me and you will talk, okay?
Wonderful meeting you. Have a good ride.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was nice.
She's a hard act to follow.
Whoa, whoa. I mean, we had a president with polio, so
Yeah.
Debbie just fits right in. And how about that? She found out she was a black woman. She didn't even know. It took the civil rights movement to make her aware. Well, not even. It took her mother to say, if I'm black, you must be black. Wow. We are polio, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And nothing ever stops us. Look at everyone around.
Well,
What a
thank you for
wonderful,
setting-
wonderful.
Thank you for setting it up, Mona.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I want to thank you also.
Yes.
and I thank you all for coming to find out the solutions to our difficulties. And that's all they are. They're just difficulties. You know, Maureen said it a long time ago. It's time to use what we have. It's time to use those chairs. It's time to, let those crutches go. They're killing your shoulders, things like that. And
Bones. And you hit your bones when you fall.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the bottom line. We have a 92-year-old woman who's taking a chance every day. She walks up and down the stairs and she's not balanced, and we just fall. I mean, ask Terry. Terry, how is Terry doing?
Yeah, Terry, for those who don't know, she's in my group. She doesn't walk with braces, and she had 2 knee replacements years ago. And so I guess it's been about 5-6 weeks ago. She was standing there. She uses a scooter most of the time, but she's able to stand. She was standing there in front of the sink getting ready for bed. All of a sudden, and she's a big girl, respectfully, she's a big girl, and her legs just collapsed on her. Ended up in a squatting position. Her butt never hit the ground. And I know she was so concerned that she thought she broke the knee replacements. But after an x-ray, it showed that, I mean, it's just as bad, I suppose. She broke both kneecaps.
Oh, wow.
So she's had this like a brace on both legs. It's an immobilizer because the doctor did not want her to bend her legs at all until, you know, he stitched the two pieces of the kneecap together, and it's got to mesh in. And, you know, every week she's, oh, I had to put through another, what do you call it? When they want to kick you out?
Appeal.
Thank you. They wanted, she's had, I don't know how many appeals she's had, but she's still in rehab and she is doing good, and she's bending her knee a little bit more, which is good.
Good.
I think she's just afraid that she's not going to gain back what she had because she's been immobile for so long.
Yeah.
Where she, you know, lost whatever little bit that she had. And I said, it's no big deal. So what if you're not going to walk again? Who cares? Walking isn't all that what is cracked up to be. And you broke both kneecaps this year. You broke your leg last year. How many more things do you want to break?
Oh, wow.
Still walk.
Yeah.
You know, Mona, Maureen, I just looked it up and I think it was the first week of September that happened to her.
Oh, okay. Well, it was
Wow.
one of our members passing away. So you're right. It was in the beginning of September. So I know she wants to stay in there a little bit longer. I pushed her to get, you know, the paratransit so she can, you know, be mobile until she's able to drive her car again. I said, get going on that. Go do your face.
Yeah.
You can join us for the Christmas luncheon we're going to have. It's in your county, so you don't even have to take, you know, two different paratransits. She says it is. I said, yes. Every time I talk to her, I give her homework to do.
That's what we all need. We all need to have homework that works for us. We need to know what we can do and try to do those things that we don't need to do. Just go for it. I mean, if Debbie can be a comedian and be on a movie, I mean, above and beyond older people, she got in a wheelchair and scooter and braces and everything. I mean, that's wonderful. Debbie is our Judy Human. She is our Judy Human. We have to abide by some of the things that we've learned. You know, there's so many of us who have succeeded in this world. Let's make you succeed. You need to succeed now and here. Chris, it looks like you have something to tell us. I'd love to hear from you.
Hi. For those that you don't know me, I'm Chris. I'm listening to you having had breakfast. I live in Australia, in Sydney. So I've joined you. And the thing I've learned most of, we need to invite Debbie to our Australia session. So I've taken her name and I'll put that in train.
She would love
It was lovely to join all of you.
I will send all the information out as soon as I send it. It might not be this weekend's newsletter, but it'll certainly be by next weekend. Okay. She is a power horse, an idol for us to go and succeed and go beyond that. Yeah. And let's get those buildings built. Let's get those washrooms the way we need them, not the way they think we should need them. I mean, I was on the city bus today, and the city bus has buttons for each person to press to get off the bus. Well, it's this much higher than I could even reach. How could I get off the bus? First, I couldn't even get on the bus.
Wow.
Michelle has a question.
And sometimes elevators. Oh my gosh, like I went somewhere, the elevators, I can't do that. I have to call someone and ask him to press it and then, like, you know, So it's some
It shouldn't be.
buildings are really sucks.
Yeah. And it was they were put in place by engineers who were 6'5" and figured, oh, that's where it should be, you know, like up here. That's where we should have those buttons.
Mona, if you don't have any specs, what do you expect? You have
Well,
Do Aja बैठ जा.
who's the brainchild of this lack of accessibility? How many years? 30, 40 years past?
it's the 50th anniversary of Judy Human trying to get
Oh, put
That's
that in your face.
50 years, and they're still building buildings that you can't get into.
Mona,
I-
I was at the cinema not long ago,
Now,
and I was stuck in the washroom. I couldn't get myself out of the washroom because
Right there.
the power door lock was, if I press it, I have to back up in order for the door to open.
Mhm.
And as soon as I go to back up, the door starts to close.
Yeah.
And so it was a ring rod. So finally, I banged on the door, and somebody did come from the movie, the cinema. And I told them that that was totally unacceptable. And you would not believe what he told me. He said that that's why that I should be wearing diapers.
oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I couldn't believe it. I was almost crying. Okay, he said that I should be wearing
Should
diapers in that way.
should
So
report.
that was their way of dealing with it.
What
So
an
anyway,
insult.
That is
Oh,
beyond.
I was so, I was beyond, I was totally beyond. Meanwhile, I'm upset, you know, like, what do I do? Like, I'm an advocate for myself.
Yeah.
And where do I even begin to, you know, bitch slap this person, you know? I just couldn't, I couldn't deal with it. I mean, I was just blown away, and it still angers me. I still have to go back there because they did promise me that they would somehow modify whatever, and I still have to go back, but I haven't. But anyway, I just thought I would pipe in with that.
May
Well,
I?
when you go back, you bring your camera with you. Take your photo and take pictures. Take pictures of it, and we will process those pictures.
No, nothing will happen because we are not the vote bank. All right. If
Yeah.
we are the vote bank, they will fix it. No, I'm dealing so much. I tried so much, but it's so hard. It's their
true, Andre.
mentality, right? Like the bureaucracy is just the bureaucracy. So like like where to go, where to start? And then they say, oh, it is clear the accessibility committee. So I don't know what the accessibility committee they do. They go and just like, okay, like they go to the meetings, right? Okay, we call them, they go have a coffee, and then let's go.
And then they forget about it. Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Mariette, also, you have a recorder on your phone. Turn it on for the next idiotic remark that this person, and then, I don't know, whoever you need to give it to.
No, we are not on the accessibility committee. The people who are on the accessibility committee don't do anything.
They're all
Well,
pushing papers around. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
I just before Diane, I just want to say welcome to Tootie. I see Tootie, you're in the car. You're on the way out somewhere. That's quite something.
Yes.
Okay.
Now that's 92 years old.
That's right. And we are so proud of you. Wait till you hear this recording. We'll put you on the recording. Diane, you have a comment.
Sure, I wanted to do a Debbie. something positive. And I think I sent you, or I mentioned that Air Canada where they had the man having to drag himself down.
Yeah.
And so in Canada, there's been, in the last week, there's been a lot on accessibility in airlines. So that's a
Yes.
positive.
Yes.
But the awful thing is, I don't know whether the latest today is WestJet. A child's wheelchair was damaged. So she was just listen to this. She was crawling down to get to the exit. I guess her mother couldn't carry her. She was 4 years old. And the pilot came along and said, "Oh, look at, you're a salamander." Now, isn't that just unbelievably horrible and insensitive?
Yeah.
So WestJet, the CEO is saying it's going to change. Air Canada, the CEO is saying it's going to change. So I think it's coming. I really do. I think there's been so much negativity relating to accessibility that it's absolutely got to change. So there's a positive.
Yeah, but it's very
In a way.
little. It's very
Believe it when I
little,
see it.
you know, and I tell you, when I started flying, like 23, 24 years back, when I started flying, it was not so bad. My first, like till like 2010, right? It was like, because at that time, the accessibility, like loading and unloading of wheelchairs and all those things is done by the airline. Now, what they did, they outsourced it to the airports. Airports outsourced to the some private companies, and now all those the like trained people, mostly they are like, you know, they don't train. My first experience was so good with the British Airways, like, you know, they like they the plane staff, they come, they pick me up, and you know, and my last time I broke my ribs. It took 3 months. I was 3 months on the bed. It's 2016.
Yeah.
You know, just like they put me, I'm on the floor.
And we don't recover the way other people recover.
Yeah.
Before Sandy, I'd like to just say hello to Tootie. You have your volume on now. Where are you, Tootie?
Oh, we lost her.
Oh, that's why the volume didn't come on. Okay, Sandy R.
Okay, Marietta, the person that said to you,
Yes.
wear a diaper,
Yep.
report it.
Yes.
Report it.
Yes.
Did you say report it or record
Yes.
it?
Report. REPORT.
Oh, okay. Well, I did, I mean, I did tell somebody else, but,
Tell the manager. Go right to the top.
well, you know what? Apparently he was the manager on duty.
Then report him.
Somebody above him.
Yeah, I'll have to go above him.
Yeah.
What was the establishment, Marietta?
I'm sorry?
What was the establishment?
Landmark Cinemas.
You gotta go to the top.
Movie theater.
In Kitchener. And this is an accessible washroom. This is what they call a transgender. I now have to share washrooms with transgender people. Okay, the accessibility / transgender washrooms is what us disabled people have to use now, which I don't have a problem with as long as it's accessible.
It's not accessible to you.
It's not accessible to anybody.
Yeah.
And exactly. So that's, thanks, Sandy, for that.
Yeah. If you will allow me, Mona,
I think I shared with you some difficulties with buying a mattress.
Yes,
I think this is, if it's okay, this is a good time to share it.
yes, please.
Okay, guess in the summer, July maybe, I had a mattress that was well over 20 years old, and I had to replace it. So there was commercial on TV of a sale on mattresses. So I say stupidly, you will find out as I go along. I thought, well, I need a mattress and I need it right away. So I called the store, talked to a salesperson, told him what I needed, and so it took about a month for it to come. And when it came, I lasted 3 days. And I called him and I said, this mattress is so uncomfortable, I cannot handle it. And so he said, okay, we'll replace it. Well, that took another month or more. And the one that they replaced it with was a little bit better, but not really. I lost it a little over a week, I think. And I called and said, this is not working. And each time I had to pay $150 delivery charge. And so I called the store, talked to the clerk. Sorry, we only exchange once. And I said to him, well, that's not what I understood. And he just said, it's sorry, this is what our policy is. Well, I am so stressed because I have difficulty sleeping anyway, and to have an uncomfortable mattress only magnifies it. So I'm annoyed, I'm upset, and I'm frustrated, all those words. And so I asked to talk to the manager. And so sorry, the clerk said, well, if we kept replacing on what the person says to us, we'd be exchanging all the time. And I said, well, sorry, sir, I'm not that kind of person. And so I talked to the manager, and he spent quite a bit, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour on the phone with me. And I'm, explaining my disability and what I need. And so there's another store that he's affiliated with. Talk to that manager while I'm still on the phone. And we set up an appointment. And so I went to that store. I was there today, but I went the first time I went. I'm not able to turn over on my own. I have a grab bar on the wall and one on the other side of my mattress. And so my daughter's mother-in-law was up for Thanksgiving. So I asked her if she would go and be my grab bar on the side of the mattress. And so she did. She came with me. Now you can imagine, you can because you're like me, with not able to maneuver. So Linda is Carrie's mom-in-law's name. She helped me get onto the bed, and the manager of the store was the bar on the wall for me, which was good. And so it took trying to use them to move me to get comfortable on this mattress. I was exhausted. but trying to, because the way I am, trying to joke at my inability to maneuver. So I think we were there a good hour, just trying to get me comfortable on this bed, and it was really comfortable. But when the price of it came up, it was well over $2,000, and I couldn't afford 1,000. So the manager gave me a couple of weeks to to see what I could do. And a couple of weeks went by. I called him back and I said, I'm sorry, I can't afford it. I'm very disappointed because the mattress is so uncomfortable. And he said to me, well, we can't have that.
Oh.
Hope. I had hope. And so he set up an appointment for this afternoon. I went. He had a grab bar there that he'd set up, and then he was the bar for me that I needed. And then another gentleman was there as well. So the long and the short of it is, they're taking back the mattress that I have now, and I got it for $1,000.
Oh,
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's just speaking up for yourself, and it is exhausting. It wears you thin. I was fit to be tied, and I couldn't function. Well, I can't function anyway, but I couldn't function worse. Whatever that means.
I couldn't function worse. Now that's our another byline.
So Marietta, I went to the manager of the store, and he heard me out, and then the manager at this store saw that I wasn't one that was going to exchange just for the fun of it. I needed help, and I needed them to understand, and he got it. And I'm exhausted, but I'm here. I missed the first few minutes, so I'm glad that you recorded it. But as much as it annoys us that we have to keep advocating, if we stop, we're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have to keep going. We have to prove it. I'm on the Accessibility Canada Commission, and I'm fighting for our way. Canada is a wonderful country, but things are so slow.
Yeah.
You would think a standstill is running.
Yeah.
You know, that's how much we have to force ourselves to just keep going. And I'm bringing up a lot of these subjects. I mean, I'm on the Emergency Egress Committee. That means, how the heck do you get out of a building if it's on fire? And I never thought about it until I was placed on this commission to find out what you need to do. And, you know, using an elevator during a fire is not the answer, but you know what? There are elevators that you can use. So these are the things we have to find out, we have to be aware of, and I'm there fighting for us. And Sandra, you fought your battle. Wow, that is great.
So
Yeah.
what we can do, like in the home, if we are stuck in the home, so the firefighters will help us, or what we need to do. Like me, I'm on a wheelchair, I'm on a bed. So if something happens, so we call 911. So do the firefighters help me, or what is the situation like? What will I need to do? Or I have to register first with the firefighters, which is near to me?
Yes, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know up there in Canada, but down here, my girlfriend, she's got a sticker on her window next to her door. and it says, you know, please rescue my bird and my dog.
Yeah,
So they can have that for animals. They certainly can have something for people.
Yeah.
that's a good idea. Please rescue me.
Mona, do we have like that in Canada?
I don't.
Well, I'm sure you do. What I have here in Quebec is the fire department has my apartment, and they can be aware, they are warned if there's something in my building. So just by my building number, they reach my name, and the fire department will come right to my door, provided he can get there. And I either go down in an elevator with him, or, which I don't really like the idea of, is going on my balcony and they could rescue me from my balcony. All
Yeah.
I hope is that nothing happens. That's the best bet. But, you know, be aware of what's happening in your city, in your town, in your country. That's what we need to do.
That's
You know-
good, Sanjeev, because I'm going to call my fire department and ask them.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
And if you're in a hotel, you should let the front desk know if there's a fire, I'm in this room, or even to call the local fire department and let them know I'm in this hotel, in this room, and I'm in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
If God forbid there's a fire,
Yeah.
because I'm sure that the front desk at the hotel is going to have enough to do without worrying about Maureen or Sanjeev. You know,
Well,
I don't know,
they-
but you gotta let people
They
know.
should know, and the fire department should know. And also, if you're going to be in a new building, try and get to the first floor. You know, hotels should have a first floor room. That's the most important.
They all don't.
Yeah.
They don't all, that's right. You know, but these are the things we need to have a list of. You know, we start from scratch and we keep going. We
Yeah.
keep going. Marietta, you had a question, Marietta?
Oh, I was just gonna, Sanjeev, what I was gonna suggest, which has already been brought up, is to call your local fire department and let them know where you live, what your circumstances are, and they will make a note of it. When I was living in an apartment building, that's what they did with me. I haven't done that because I'm in a house, but now that this is on the forefront, I think I'll be giving them a call next week and let them know, so that if they do get a call, you know, I'm in a scooter, I can't get out, basically, so I'm in the same position.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a house too. Yeah.
What I forgot to mention was the reason I got my mattress for 1,000 is because the manager gave me his discount when he would buy a mattress. So I did really well.
There's always two ways to skin a cat.
Yeah.
And they already raised the price probably 500%.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Especially if they're going to put them on sale, eh? Yeah.
pardon?
If they're putting it on sale, you know they've raised the price.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that I'm excited. And hopefully.
Hello, Marjorie. Nice to see you.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good.
Sorry I couldn't make it early. I just got in. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you came here, and we have a recording, so we'll send the recording out when I get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, that would be lovely. Yeah.
It was very exciting, and now we're just talking about all the things that distress us, because when we hear about the things that are not fair, it's very unfair.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But we're fighting it one step at a time, or I should say one roll at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a wonderful turnout. So have any of you read the documents that I sent with the agenda?
I haven't had time to do it yet.
Well, maybe now that you can get some sleep, you might be doing better. Polio survivors' perceptions of the meaning of quality of life, strategies to promote participation in everyday activities. That's a really good one. Discomfort, some people call it the P word. A separate entity. Persons with post-polio syndrome, frequency, intensity, and impact. That's also just excellent. These three tiny URLs were from Susan Schonenbeck, and she does use the P word. I can't get her away from that, but you know, you need to be specific when you're talking to people who are going through difficulties. And first you have to understand what you're going through, and then you can start to develop other ways to change your discomfort. And the one that she put out was she does crocheting. So when you can't do anything else and everything is a bother and every movement you make is difficult, then just take a crochet hook or a small little needle and thread and just forget about what's going on. And you just do a little sewing. If you need to put your hands on a pillow, you put your hands on a pillow, but you do something to distract yourself.
Yeah.
And at Maureen's December meeting, talking about hobbies, I think that's the most wonderful thing that we can do for ourselves. And Maureen, if that's okay with you, I'm gonna send you some pictures on my PowerPoint, and I'm gonna show you what I did before. Before I used to do macrame, and I made these huge macrames. Well, I can't stand anymore and do it. I can't even do little ones because you have to pull the cords and knot them. So I went to beads.
Yeah.
And I take one tiny bead. It is so small, it's like the head of a pin. And I put a needle through it, and I'm just happy if I put one bead in, and then I rest, and I try again, and I do 5 or 6 beads, and then I can rest, and I don't think about what happened to me before. But when you see my pictures in December, you'll be surprised. It's one bead at a time.
Good.
And it can be very large.
Those
So-
of you who were in my meeting last year, this time in December, it was amazing the talent that came out in that meeting of what people do. Again, I was the lone man on the totem pole. I have no talent. But
Maureen,
what was going on, it was amazing. So I know Sandra does her hats, and Mona does her beads, and
Susan does her macrame, does her crocheting.
there you go. Everybody's got something going on. And I want to see you all come out on that meeting in December.
and Maureen, you have excellent qualities.
Yes.
Not in that department.
You and Marina, you and Mona,
Mona.
leadership is key, and you guys got it.
Okay, I'll take that. But again, without all of you, there's nobody to lead. So
That's right.
we thank you all for showing up and coming out to these meetings.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's good. It's all
And
good.
today's meeting was just a marvel. And Debbie has a long way to go. I'm going to get her here in Quebec. And I don't know if we can get her to be translated into French, but the French people need to hear this too.
Yeah.
Let them take a crash course in English.
Yeah. So.
But she's gonna do a gig on the cruise for us.
Wow.
Mona, how your Indian meetings are going on?
I'm sorry?
India group.
The India group is very slow. Very slow. We only had
sorry I didn't this time because it's a cricket World Cup is gone. So I was watching cricket at that time. So sorry, next time.
Next time, we're gonna try our best to get more people going. If you're on WhatsApp, tell your friends to come.
Yeah, because actually this is the like where like the it's like in Mumbai, it's a one city, right? So like so I will try my city, New Delhi. So I will try and then
Yeah,
ask them
and it's on Zoom, so you don't there's no just the exchange of time.
Yeah,
That's the difficulty.
I'll try because I have some friends which they have muscular dystrophy and the spinal cord injury. I know them, but like polio, I have to find. Yeah,
Well, spinal cord injuries, polio, spina bifida, we all have the same difficulties. You know, when you can't reach that elevator button, when there's no excuse for that. Every elevator, and I found this out, every elevator can have a button on the side.
Yeah.
You know, that's and it's an addition to an elevator. All you have to do is get the elevator people to put this plaque on, and you have a side button, and anybody can use it. And you know, we're talking about people who have difficulties. Well, it's not just people with polio. I mean, we're all around the world, and we all need help. You know, Judy Heumann didn't just do it for polio. She never mentioned polio.
Yes, it's for disabled people.
Yeah,
for everyone.
For everyone. And today we have golden agers, we have senior golden agers, and we have lots of people that need help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get a crowd from New Delhi coming in.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Okay.
Does anybody know
Mona?
the name of the movie that she's in? Michelle?
I'm gonna write to her this weekend. I'll write to her and I'll get all the information, her info, her Facebook page, Debbie Wooten Williams.
Yeah, I think it may or may not be hyphenated.
Well,
क्या करिए? हाँ, Billy.
I texted her and I guess she must be driving. Otherwise,
she's got a 3-hour ride to do her
big.
Yeah.
Is she driving alone?
No, she wasn't driving. Someone else was driving.
Okay, because I texted her to ask her what the name of that movie was.
I think it was called The Pony Man.
The Pony Man.
Yeah.
Pony? P-O-N.
Pony, like riding a horse.
Yeah, Pony Man.
Yeah.
But I'll get the info.
I Googled it. I'm not sure if this is it, but I think it was made in 2012, if that's the right one.
Pony? I don't know.
Chris has a question.
No, I just want to say I have to go, but I just like to say thank you very much for having me on your Zoom session. I know I'm in Australia, but I've learned an awful lot, and Debbie was actually wonderful. And thank you and goodbye and all the best.
And Chris, before you go, I have your email. I send you my letters.
You do. I look forward to it.
Okay. I'll put all the information on there, and I'll put the recording.
Thank you very much. Bye,
and
everyone.
thank you. Thank you.
You know Bob in Australia, Mona? You know Bob? Yeah. So yesterday, I picked up the phone and I called him because I can call through WhatsApp. And it's free, cell phone to cell phone. Well, what's so funny was he did answer the phone, and I said, Bob, where were you today? I said, I had Germany in the meeting, and I had the United States, and I had Canada, and I had England. I said, I was waiting on Australia to show up. Poor Bob, he's so confused. It's the next day for him, and
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I got him to put New York under the world map, a world clock, so at least he knows what time it is here, because that's what I did.
Yeah.
In Sydney, Australia, because I don't want to be counting on my fingers.
A day and a half ahead of us.
Yeah.
Chris was here. It was 7 o'clock in the morning Saturday.
Yeah, there you
Especially
go.
especially with the time change.
Yeah.
That messed up people too, the time change.
Yeah. So Daryl, it was great having you here. Thank you for being here. I will send you the recording.
I like Daryl incognito all the time.
Yeah. So
that's okay.
I think I'm going to cut this meeting a little bit short. We had a wonderful time. Any other questions, comments?
Mona,
yes.
Can we change like the Indian time, right? So it's like 5:30 or so in the evening on the Saturday. So it's too early for them. Some people are working, Can we like think over some different time or something?
You're talking India?
Yeah.
Well, it's 8 o'clock in the morning for us, Eastern time, but it makes it 6:30 at night. It makes it 6:30 at night.
Yeah, like over there, 6:30.
Yeah.
People are, outside and all those things.
Well, I don't want to make it later for them because then they're too tired.
Yeah,
we'll keep it at this time for the December meeting because it's going to be on December 2nd. For anybody who's interested, I'll put it in my newsletter closer to December. And it's what I have to do for December is make a decision. Will we continue or will we just have the advocacy group?
Okay.
But the advocacy group is someone from Africa, and I think that's also another support group that's needed. So we're all around the world through Rotary, and we're contacting everyone.
Good.
Marietta? Oh, mute.
Sorry. Am I on your mailing list to get the newsletter? Just to double check.
Yes, you are.
Perfect.
Because I have you on the yoga newsletter, so that's why I wasn't sure. But
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Before we close, Ruth, could you put your email in the chat? I'd like to send you something, please.
Okay, I will.
Because before I know it will be morning.
A moment, I'm trying to find Diane here. I'm just going to put it to everyone because I can't find your name.
Sure.
Yep. Okay.
I guess you don't mind, hopefully.
I don't care.
Marietta, I have you on my English polio now.
Okay, perfect. We're talking about things that we want modified for us, but it's not really just for us. It makes it for everybody. I mean, we're in an aging population.
Yeah.
As a quick
I'm slow at the switch, sorry.
Just as a quick add-on, I advocated, I used a ramp when I was living in a different city, and I needed a ramp to get into my church. And it took so long to get a ramp put in, because what would happen is I'd have to get out of my scooter, my Fortress, leave the Fortress outside, take a chance that nobody would vandalize it, steal it, whatever. Go in, come back out all through the mass. I would be worried. Am I going to have, my legs there? Basically, they were my legs.
Yeah.
So finally, they did put a ramp in. Well, guess what? I would have to wait to use the ramp because people were using the ramp.
Yeah.
Baby carriages, bicycles, able-bodied people, you name it. And so it's not just a matter of us using these adaptions, it's everybody else. And that's what, we're advocating. Yes, I want the button to be lowered, but I can guarantee it's not just going to be for us.
That's right. And there was a time, I mean, when I see the strollers today for the children, they are so big, they look like my scooter. And I often wondered if I could appeal to the young mothers of today to help the handicapped get more services. And I think we would have a big population who would be more than willing to help us. They can't. I mean, today, the bus that came that I couldn't get onto was a handicap adapted bus, but it didn't have a ramp.
Yeah.
It had a handicap sign on the side, and the bus driver, thinking he could do it, came over, brought the bus just about to the edge of the sidewalk, lowered the bus, but there was still about 2 inches that I would have had to bump up onto the bus. I would have done it, but then I have to think to myself, where I'm getting off, there won't be a sidewalk that will match it. So that's why, I came in here and it was 3:57 and the second bus came and I was lucky that one was adapted.
That's why I always love subway. They have a little gap, right?
Yeah.
So I was scared of that. If my wheel, the smaller wheel stuck in that,
But
I'm very scared of things.
We show that persistence works.
Yeah.
The Montreal metro system started only about, I'd say 10 years ago to start putting in wheelchair elevators. Then you'd get to the train and there was a gap of, it could be anything from 2 inches to 6 inches. So I would have to go pay my fare, ask for assistance. They would get a manager from the system and come down, bring me with a ramp to go onto the train. I would drive onto the train. He would then come on the train with me and have to stay on the train until I could get off the train. So they were taking the managers of the metro system off their work to come and help me or other people. Eventually, within 3 years, they changed the trains. They got, I said, how can one station have a 3-inch gap and another station a 6-inch gap? Well, it's the hydraulic system that wasn't working. So they changed all the trains. I don't know if I did it or someone else did it, or they finally realized they made a mistake. They had to change all the trains.
Will say you did it.
Okay, also I'll take credit, but they had to change all of the metro cars.
Yeah.
Well, they did it. And things can happen if you allow it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that'll
hear the expression that people don't walk around ramps, they use them.
Yeah.
People use the ramps and it's not for us, for people with disabilities. Not I don't think.
I went Winnipeg, right, for the office training for 1 week. And Winnipeg, for instance, I found so much accessible there. They have lots of accessible taxi. I just need to call them. Here in Toronto, it's so difficult to get accessible taxi. Over there, it's just, I need to call and it's like anytime, morning, evening, late night,
Yeah.
and here it's so difficult.
Well, what we wanted to talk about today was changing our mind and changing our set and doing things that are good for us, no matter what they are.
Yeah.
Eat better, sleep better, play better. And that's what we need to do. And I think if there's no other questions, I'm going to close the meeting. Thank you, Dick, for coming back. I will make sure that you get the recording. It was just incredible to hear Debbie. She is just a marvel, and I think she will be talking at other meetings. This is not the only one. And yes, absolutely. It was just wonderful.
It was good. Just before
Yes.
we go, Mona, Diane, did you get my?
No, I still,
It
it
took
went-
me
it
three
went
times.
off.
I was sitting in the dark, and so it took me 3 times. I finally got it. It's stevensonjim@rogers.com.
after Stevenson, Jim.
At rogers.com.
Okay, thanks a lot. Great,
There.
thanks.
Okay. finally,
Okay.
I should have put the light on earlier. It's gotten dark quite quickly here.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's right. So I'm going to say good night, folks.
Good night. Thank you.
Tell me your
Have a good
solutions.
weekend. Have a good weekend,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona.
Solutions are occasional Fridays, probably
Thank
somewhere
you.
in December.
Okay, Mona,
all.
bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Good night. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mona.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mona.
See you next time, everybody.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm so glad you came, Michelle.
Yeah, it took me a while, but I finally made it.
Wonderful. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.